Alrighty, hello you guys, welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to be talking about narcissism. Before I get into this topic, I really want these videos that I'm coming out with to really serve as a conversation. So a lot of times I might come off kind of like, oh, I don't really know how I come off. I do know that I want these to serve as like a conversation though. So whenever I'm talking about something, please share your story or your insight in the comment section. I would love to read them. I would love to, carry on the conversation. Today, I wanted to go into narcissists and sort of how to deal with them and watch out for them, because this is something that's been running pretty rampant in our society. For both men and women. I do want to say I think that it is more so affecting the women. I think originally when people think of narcissists, at least in the past, you think of a male figure. And I think in the past it pretty much was that. But I do think that because of social media, when it comes to women, there has been an increase in this very huge ego. Everything's about me sort of frame of thinking. And that's due to, of course, DMs and comments and all these things that just really blow a lot of their heads up to the point to where it's almost hard to deal with a lot of people. It's really sad to see. And I want to say, avoid these people as much as you possibly can. It damages their ego, but it's like, who cares? You have to take care of your mental health. I feel like anyone who's been in a relationship with a narcissist knows exactly what I'm talking about. It is one of the worst things you can experience, and it can damage your self-esteem and how you view yourself. Everything they do is really just about them. I was reading on Quora recently, actually, about this particular relationship. So usually when you date a narcissist and a breakup happens, right? You want them back. So usually what happens is like people go into no contact and they wonder if their partner is going to get back with them, right? And this guy had came up with a great metaphor of what it's like from the narcissist perspective. So it's like this. This was his story, right? Let's say you're on a boat, right? You and your partner. You guys are on a really nice boat. Maybe you're just on a really nice boat. Then you get pushed off of your boat, right? And there's no explanation as to why. So now you're drowning and they didn't tell you anything. Essentially, you've been ghosted and the boat just keeps going. And so you wonder, are they going to come back? So the person comes back, right? But it's not about you. It's about them. The person comes back and they say, hey, I forgot my wallet. Can you hand it to me? And I'm like, wow, that is a really good metaphor for what it's like to deal with a narcissist. It's always about them. If you're in a relationship with someone and they left you and they come back, it's all about their ego. It's not about you. They can care less about how you feel, unfortunately. Now, how people get like this, I think from what I've read and experienced and people I've spoken to, it seems to come back to like a childhood type of thing where it just has to be about them. It seems to be like a lack of bad parenting, or maybe just a terrible upbringing, which is really sad. But people feel the need to make things about themselves. If you have a quote unquote friend like this, just remove yourself. It's so important, especially in this day and age, you guys, to embrace healthy relationships, right? If you have someone that is calling you, texting you, asking, how you are, or they want to hang out, take note of that. It's so important to take note of that, because I've noticed that those relationships are becoming very few and thin, right? Actually meeting real people out in the world is becoming so much harder. And I do think that it is because of our current society and what they push, especially for women. I really want to go in on the women. And I know that might kind of be like a red flag or whatever to people, but it's true. It's a topic that needs to be discussed. And I'm not saying men are perfect by any chance, but I do think that in our current culture, women are very, very babied in a way to where it's almost like you can't say anything about them. It's almost like everything about them is so protected to where you cannot give them constructive criticism. That's a problem, because we need constructive criticism to grow. So I guess let me elaborate on that. It'll be like, how do I want to go? How do I want to say this? So the whole, female empowerment thing, the casual sex type of thing, I do think that this plays into their ego. And it's really sad because I mean, there's so many studies that you could read on, and so many videos you could watch about the negative effects of casual sex and what it does to both men and women. I do think that it affects women a bit more harsher because of their emotions and how women are more emotionally invested into relationships, especially when sex happens. Men aren't so attached. And over time, this can it really can mess with their pair bonding. I don't want to go too deep into that, but again, I just want to go into the culture of that. So like female empowerment, especially with modern feminism, they'll tell you to, embrace your sexuality, sleep with as many men as you want. And they sort of carry this attitude around where everything is about them, right? Everything is about, it's almost like they can do no wrong. And that's just not true, because everybody can do wrong things. And it's really sad that this has gotten to the point to where it's blown their ego up, because it's just not attractive. How can you get to know someone if everything is about you all the time? Especially in a relationship, it's about both of us, right? We serve each other. So the culture that caters to this is toxic. So much of what goes on in our culture is toxic. It's backwards. And I think one of the ways to fix this, well, obviously would be maturing, right? Growing up, taking accountability. And that seems to be another thing that a lot of women struggle with, is accountability, especially in this day and age, because of the culture. So taking accountability is something that should come with age, right? As you mature, you should be passing on your information or wisdom to your nieces, nephews, your children, grandchildren, things like that, to sort of, put in their heart or on their mind, so when they grow up, they'll be more aware of things. That is how it should go. But a lot of the times, especially in this day and age, the people in this current generation that are coming up, it's a lack of wisdom and a lack of maturing due to the culture and the society, especially in the West, is what I see. Recently on Halloween, I was speaking to a friend of mine. I was at family friend's Halloween party, right? And he's 2 years younger than me. I just turned 30 recently. He's 28, so he's not that much younger than me. But his friends are a bit more younger. They're more like mid-20s. And I was very impressed about the conversations we were having and their dialogue. They actually had their head on right. And it was very refreshing to hear that from people who are younger, because so much of the stuff I see and hear from people that age is very immature and very childish and very selfish. And it wasn't that at all with this particular circle I was in. So it was nice to hear that, and I wish I would hear more of that. But unfortunately, that's not what it is. So all in all, I really think you guys should just avoid narcissists if you want to remain sane, because you can easily lose your mind, you guys. I've been a victim of it myself. And it's sad. The best thing you can do is don't talk to these people. Don't reach out to them. Separate yourself from them. That will first, it'll put you in a position of power, right? Don't let people get control of your emotions. There's very few things in this world that we can control, and our body is one of them. So you don't have to feed into their ego. If you don't want to, just stop texting, stop calling, live your life, enjoy your life. If they reach out to you, that's up to you. If you don't see any change in behavior, I would not recommend talking to these people. Avoid them, because it's all about them. It's dangerous. And again, you need to protect your mind and your sanity, because if you lose that, you pretty much will lose everything. Your mind is so important. Take care of your mental health, work out, focus on any other goals that you have, just to, take your mind off of it. Get into the Bible, get rooted into something, get involved in your community. Anything just to get better. Always the goal should always be to improve yourself in any which way. And you will see, a lot of times, people who are selfish, it doesn't go well for them. You might see, I know a lot of times people who, like narcissists, who leave a partner, and then the ex who is hurting, you still might be checking up on their social media, which I don't recommend, because this isn't catering to your mental health, right? They'll check up on them, and they might seem like they're doing better. Sometimes they won't. But it's important that you guys realize that social media is just an image or a video of the good things going on in their life, right? People don't generally post the negative things in their life. It's only one small like segment. A lot of times, every time, that's not their whole actual life. You know, people could be going through the worst things in their life, but then they'll post them smiling with their parent or their best friend. So don't be so deceived, but know that, you know, it doesn't end well for people like that. You can't live a life of selfishness. Those relationships fall apart and they end up lonely, you guys. That is the ultimate. If they don't change their ways, they end up alone. There's no way to live a successful selfish life. That is just not how it is. That's not how this thing goes. So I would say just be aware of that. Avoid them. Take care of your mental health. And, you know, let me know any stories that you guys have had dealing with narcissists and what you've learned from it. Because I would be very interested in that. That's my conversation for today. I hope you guys can add on to this or took something from it. And if you guys need any help with anything, you can reach out to me through my email. You can check out my website if you're interested in any of my ebooks. And we'll just go from there. But you guys enjoy your week. And we got Thanksgiving coming up soon. So happy Thanksgiving for when that happens. I hope you guys all eat well. And I'll see you guys next time.